What's up, cool kids? FD White. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to look at the charts. We're going to do some TA, look at what we're seeing for the short to mid term. Looks like we have formed some sort of a local bottom for right now. So that's good. Bitcoin is sitting at 84,900 at the time of recording. So today we're going to look at Bitcoin. I want to look at ETH, XRP, and Solana, and then we'll continue to go down my list as the days go by. But right now, like I said, Bitcoin is hovering at a pivotal point. And let's look at this. I'm on a 4-hour time frame right now, and what I'm looking at just from a naked eye, Bitcoin, it looks kind of bearish in the short term. I'm not gonna lie, it looks kind of bearish in the short term. I could be wrong, but we can get some news that just possibly catapults us above this resistance line at about 87.5. We do have the 200 coming in right there as well. So that is a possible scenario, getting a nice bounce up here. But it seems like we may be trying to form some sort of a double top. Like I said, I'm on a 4-hour time frame. I also see, let's start to draw it out and let's formulate some sort of a plan. I also see we have this coming in, and then I don't have my mouse, so bear with me. We have this coming in. I don't like these patterns. I don't like when I see these patterns forming at the top of a move. And like I said, it looks like we also are forming somewhat of a double top. Hopefully we can get some news or a nice little push. Somebody comes in, a buyer comes in, or some type of bullish news, like I said, comes in, and we can get a little bit of a push. But I see something forming like that, possibly a double top that will take us back below our downward trend line, our macro downward trend line, and possibly bring us back to around 81 to 82k. 82, I say about 81 to about 84k is good. As long as we can stay within there within the next week or so, I think we're good. I just don't really want to fall back below this 80k level for Bitcoin. So we're going to continue to watch equities. We're not going to talk about equities really. We do have the NASDAQ sitting at 0.26, the S&P at 0.7, and then the Dow at 0.4. So they're kind of flat to positive. So the correlation has been pretty big when it comes to the equities and when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. So besides Fartcoin has been the safe haven, but everything else has been kind of correlated when it comes to these markets. So like I said, we will be continuing to monitor Bitcoin. Let's look at some possible scenarios if we did. Well, matter of fact, I am looking at something else now that I'm just looking at my chart. We have been, like I said, we've been going up, but look at the momentum indicator. Look at our momentum wave. Look at our RSI. The RSI has been trending down on the 4-hour. So this is bearish divergence coming in on the 4-hour as well. So I'm getting conflicting I'm getting not really conflicting because it is looking a little bit more bearish, but we do have the 50-day moving average coming in. We have this horizontal support coming in at about 84.5, and we have our 20-day, which held as perfect confluence and perfect support right off our 20-day modified moving average as well. So we do have some support under us if we do want to come down and possibly get a fake out. And like I said, we do have our macro downtrend, which we took from the top of the market when we got to 109, and we would just been making those lower highs. We finally started to broke out above it, and we are holding this as support, which line is coming in in confluence with this 84.5 level. This horizontal is coming in perfectly with the downward sloping trend line, our downward sloping macro trend line that we've been watching ever since the top of the market. So this is what we're going to continue to look at for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does proceed to go, like if we go up, I'm kind of in no man's land because we can continue to just keep hitting our head here. So I'll be I'll want to long because I don't really want to scalp right here. Let's say we start doing this, we break above here, I'll be a longer here because we are going to have that 200-day moving average coming in. So we're going to have massive resistance here. So once we break this 87 to 87.5k level, I think now we're talking back to 90, possibly 93, 94k, which this is the area we really want to get back in. This is the area that we really want to see Bitcoin get back in. And that's our range. That's our huge range from I think we took our line out, but it's from like 93, 94 all the way up to about 106 to 107. So that's the huge range that we wanted to stay in order to stay really bullish in the market. We lost it, came all the way down to about, I think, 74.5, 75k. Now it seems like we're trying to take the stairs back up. So this is the level. If we can get back up here, Okay, all bets are all, bull market really back on. All bets, all bear market bets are off, and we can continue our path possibly. But it's so much, like I keep saying in every video, Trump, I talked about this last video. Trump is the most volatile president that we've seen. Well, that I've seen in my lifetime. And all the history and all the research that I've done, this is the most volatile times that I've seen, especially when it comes to these tariffs, when it comes to, recession fears and interest rates and all that. It's very, very uncertain times, very, very volatile times. So this is good for a day trade. If you're trading, if you're trying to scalp, if you're day trading these moves, or if you're trying to just catch quick moves in and out, this is a perfect environment for you. But when it comes to investing and holding and trying to get perfect entries, or trying to hold trades longer than you would, or longer than you should in this type of environment, it could be a little bit rocky. But if you're trying to, accumulate, once we get those red days, you put a little bit in. Once we get the green days, then you chill, or you just buy Bitcoin and chill, like we always say. So right now, Bitcoin is still hovering around that 84.9 to 85K level. So we'll see how we close out the day. We really just want to close out the day, like I said, above this 84.5 level. Don't want to lose that. I think we'll probably come back down to that 82, 81, between 80 and 82K level if we do lose this. Hopefully no news comes out. Hopefully he doesn't say anything. Every time he gets on the horn, he says something, markets react, and usually, or lately, it's been pretty negative. It's been a couple times where he pumped the market last week, where he was talking about the tariffs were rescinded, the tariffs were we were pulling back some of the tariffs, and we had those huge dead cat rallies, dead cat bounces. Yeah, basically the same thing. But we just got to be, like I said, you want to have your stop losses in place if you're trading. You want to pay yourself quick. You want to play with the house's money. You want to take some money off the table, play with the house's money, so to say. And we can see what we do, or see how the market goes along as, day by day. We're just taking it day by day. So Bitcoin right now, like I said, we're trying to hold this level here. Hopefully we can continue our path up, start to get back above that 80, this 87K level, which will come in confluence with this 200, flip that, and then we can start talking about that 90 to 94 or 90 to 93K level, trying to get back up there. So good luck, everybody. Good luck if you're trading, and if you're investing. Is when Bitcoin goes down, buy more. Some people don't even care about the price. They just, long term. So I'm on both. I'm in both camps, long term and short term trade. So I look at it from both perspectives. Ethereum, let's go over to Ethereum. Right now, Ethereum is sitting at 1625. We did get back above 1550. We've been talking about 1550 when we were down here. We were at 13. Everybody saying it was going to 1,000. I said, man, we probably, I called this. Now, I did call this. I will pat myself on the back saying we're probably going to go around 13K. I didn't think we were going to like 800 to 1,000 yet. We may just be getting a nice little rally before we roll back over. I hope not, because I'm ready, and I'm ready for the bull market to really turn back on, and everything to turn back on, and a little bit easier to make money trading, and just a little bit and just easier making money as a whole. Just holding these coins and watching them appreciate. Even though it's been a hard bull market, the hardest bull market everybody is saying. It's definitely been harder than last cycle. I will say that. But it's not impossible to make some money. So right now, what I'm looking at, still on the 4-hour time frame, we're just going to stick to the 4-hour time frame right now. Ethereum is riding this trend line. We started back at the bottom at about 1370. So we had a nice pop here all the way up to about 1700. Higher low, higher low, higher low. So we're making higher lows. So that's what I like to see. I like to see these higher lows. I like to see us continue to ride this trend line up. We are coming up to the 20-day modified moving average, which will probably come in at around 1750 once we get up there. So 1730, 1750. So as long as we don't lose this for Ethereum, I think we can fare pretty well. But like I said, everything will predicate on how Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin does have bearish divergence on the 4-hour. Looks like a rising wedge. Looks like we're hitting our head on resistance. Looks like a double top for Bitcoin. So we got to continue to watch Bitcoin, because if that starts to roll over, we lose this, we'll hit this 1550 again easy. So this will be an easy short. Right now we're at 1621. This is an easy short. Bitcoin starts to roll over, we start to lose this. So we're on a 4-hour time frame right now. I'll give you a little bit of FD sauce. I will just zoom in to like the 15-minute, the hourly first, then like the 15 to 5, and probably take an entry. Let's actually delete this. I'll take an entry off of a small time frame, possibly the 15. If I'm looking at the 4 hour right now, possibly the 15-minute time frame if I want to be a little bit snipery, but not too much, you know, unless we get some sort of a fake out. So I'll be looking for something like that, possible retest inside, and then, you know, rejection to make our way back down to that support level, that SR, our major support resistance level, coming in at about 1550. So that'll be something I'm looking at. That's a trade idea when it comes to Ethereum. And with the market being the way the market is, man, these levels are being respected. These support resistance, like they will break. Like some news might come out and they will break. But when they break, you have your support levels. When they break to the upside, you have your resistance levels. So it has been, I'm not gonna lie, the market has been respecting levels when it comes to that. That's one thing that I do like. So if you know how to trade, if you know how to invest, read the charts and do things like that, then it's been a very, very good time for you. And if you want, I do have, here's my shield for the video. I do have a affiliate link for Breakout Prop Firm. Prop Firm is where you take an evaluation, you pass the test, and they give you the money that you pay the evaluation for. So if you bought a 10K account, you pass an evaluation, they give you 10,000 to trade with. If you got a 100,000 account, you pass the evaluation, they give you 100,000 to trade with. And of course, there's rules and regulations, drawdowns, daily drawdowns, maximum drawdown levels, things like that. But for the most part, if you can trade, that's a good utility, or a good thing you can do to enhance your money, enhance your capital, if you don't have a whole lot of capital to play with, or if you don't want to use a whole lot of leverage. So think about that. Will be in the link will be in the description. So Breakout Prop Firm, check it out. But back to Ethereum, scenario number 2 is we possibly just come back up to here, you know, and just keep riding this, and then we also want to come and look at some horizontals. We have some resistance coming in here. So we'll probably have some resistance coming in here, and that'll be somewhere around 1650. And then you can see this has basically just been some sort. While I'm looking at it right now, I'm on a 15-minute time frame. This does look like some sort of an ascending triangle with a couple deviations, with the deviation here. So we're building pressure. Boom. Possibly we can move to the upside if Bitcoin does proceed to move to the upside again. And then I think we'll come and probably hit our head somewhere up here. Let's see what this is. Probably, let's move that there. We'll have this here. So somewhere in the area of about 1750 to 1785. We'll say 1750 to 1780, somewhere in this area here. If we can continue our path up, break out of this resistance level. Like I said, we have this 20-day modified moving average, and then we have some resistance in this level here. So that'll be a nice trade that you can take as well if you want to trade, if you wanted to potentially take a trade for Ethereum to the upside or the downside. So look out for those. XRP is next. Let's look at what XRP is doing. Let's actually go back to the 4-hour time frame and do some little bit of a top-down analysis. So I do like what I see here for XRP. So XRP fell below that 200, but got right back above it. So this is one of the few coins that is above its 200-day moving average, which is good, which is very good. We can look at this trend line. These trend lines have been hitting, man. These trend lines have been hitting. Boom, 1 hit, 2 hit. Now we're coming back for a third. We have the 20-day modified moving average coming in, but we have the 50-day acting as resistance. See, we hit our head here, got rejected back down. So we may make up another pop or another attempt to go back up if Bitcoin can continue to mosey its way back on up. So XRP is not looking too bad. I really like seeing that it came down to the 200 and and reclaim. We came all the way down to about $1.60. We talked about $1.50 would be a buy area. People were asking me like, where should they get XRP at what price? I said, if you can get it at under $2, that's good. If you can get it at $1.50, that would be even better. And then just wait it out and see what happens with the overall economy, what happens with these tariffs and things like that. Because we could just tank in a minute, and then XRP can be back under $1. Like, we don't know what's going to happen, but we want to be prepared for a major move to the upside, and we want to be defensive just in case things do turn south in the market. But XRP is one of the ones that will stand the test of times. So if you're just accumulating anywhere in this area, and have a longer term mindset or mind frame, when it comes to these coins, or when it comes to XRP. I think you'll fare well in the long term. So like I said, we've been moseying along on this trend line, which is, I like this a lot. Let's see here. So we are, let me look and see if we have any type of divergence on. So we have this coming down here. Let's see what we're looking at on the 4 hour here. Okay, no type, maybe a hidden, but I don't really trade those like that. So the next area I will be looking at, let me turn these lines off. The next area that I will be looking at for XRP, if we did continue our way up, will be somewhere around $2.35. That $2.35 area coming in. We do have some around $2.20, but really up in this area here, this range that we were in, $2.30 to $2.50. So I don't think it's just going to have one little pop up. I think if we get a move in Bitcoin, we're going to get a major move in a lot of these altcoins, especially the ones that have been very strong, have been very strong in this bull run. XRP, like I said, XRP has been doing fairly well as the market has been going down. So that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do that. So let's hit that brush. So worst case scenario, boom, we come and we start to hit our head here on this resistance level, the support resistance level here. And like I said, that's coming in at about $2.30. We get back in this range here. Now we're talking about this $2.30 to $2.50 range. So, and if we lose the level, we got to look to the downside for all my shorters as well. If we lose this level here, we have a stop here at about $1.85. And then anything under that, we gonna hold on to our horses and pray that things really don't fall apart. So if we lose this, like I said, we'll probably have some coming in at about $1. Well, $2 of course is a psychological level that we've been holding, that $1.90 to $2 level, and then we may get a sweep of the lows coming in at around 180 to 185 to make our way back up. But we don't try to predict the future. We just want to be prepared for the moves if they do happen. Lastly, let's talk about Solana. And Solana, I'm gonna make this one quick because Solana is fairly easy. We really just want to hold $125. This is very let's go back. This is a macro support resistance line that we have been testing over the past years. Over the past few months. So this goes up all the way back. Let's go back. So we use it as resistance here, December 23rd, support. These wicks, support, blast off, support, lost it, reclaim, lost it, reclaim. So this $1 or $125 level is very, very, very important. We don't want to lose this. We did come all the way down a tad bit under 100, but we have this $125 level, and then we have this $100 level, this psychological level. So we did have this small deviation right under here, about $98. Quickly recovered it. Well, not quickly. We spent about 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 days under. Got back above it. Got back above our $1 or 100. I keep saying $125 level. Now it looks like we're trying to hold that, and then we have our trend line. Let's go to the hourly so we can see this a little bit better. We have our trend line coming in. So what we could do, we've been riding this trend line starting back at about $110. Bounce, came back up, maybe come back down for a bounce at this $125 level, which is coming in confluence with our macro support and resistance horizontal level as well. So I will be a buyer here. Right now we're at 128. If we can come back down to this $125 level, I think I'm along here. I think I'm actually, let's actually do that, man. I want to set an alert here. Can you set an alert on this one? Where's my alert? Okay, we'll do it in a minute because my mouse died, so I'm using my trackpad. So $125 level, we have two areas of confluence. Like I said, the upper sloping trend line that we've been watching ever since the beginning of April. And then we have our macro support and resistance level coming in at about $125, which we're going to look at too. Bitcoin, let's go back. Bitcoin is starting to roll over a little bit. When we started the video, we were about 85K. Now we're at about 84,785. So like I said, this M, I don't like the way this looks. This M pattern, this double top, I don't like this rising wedge. Like I also said, we have bearish divergence on the 4 hourly. We were coming up here. Now we're making we have a higher high, and then on the RSI we have a lower high. So that I don't like that. So we may start to roll over. If we do lose these areas, we have a horizontal upper sloping trend line, and then we have our downward sloping macro support resistance level that we were talking about ever since 109. So we lose this, I think first stop will be maybe 82, 83, 83K. And then ultimately, I think we can come back down to about 81K. And I think we will look for a bounce there if we do come back down to these levels. But barring any news, all the news and everything that's been happening, man, we don't want to get too caught up in these trades. We don't want to get married too much to these trades, too much to these short-term positions. Take your money, pay yourself, and live to fight another day, man. Live to fight another day. I seen a good quote from a dude named Miles. Don't know how to pronounce his last name. He's a fellow influencer, crypto YouTuber, whatever you call us. He said, right now is the time to survive. Right now is the time to wait till people come back and not lose all your money, or something to the effect of that. He said something like that. And that's the truth, man. Right now is the time not to be trying to, I know you need the dopamine rush. You need the dopamine spikes and whatnot. Right now, just survive, sit in your hands. If you have conviction, nibble at some of the coins that you think will come back when the market comes back, but just don't be just going all in trying to just make $1 million tomorrow, man. That's not crypto. It's definitely not crypto now. Crypto has changed. Crypto has changed drastically. It's a harder market to navigate. TradFi bros are here. The market is not moving the way it moved in the past. It's been very concentrated to certain coins. If you want to trade, make sure you trade in the coins that are easier to trade, like Fartcoin. We talked about Fartcoin. We said Fartcoin was going in the top. This is one of the ones that we're going to start trading a lot. So Fartcoin is getting a nice little sell-off. I know a lot of whales were selling off at the 90 to 95 cent area before it got to $1. So it's been respecting levels very well. Fartcoin, of course, Bitcoin. Just trade the ones that respects levels, have a nice liquidity. Don't get those crazy wicks, those crazy spikes. But it's hard to navigate. I know it's with the most volatile administration and the most volatile times that we've seen in a long time, man. So stay diligent, stay cool, stay calm, stay collected. Make sure you are rational in irrational markets. And I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe. Telegram will be in the pinned comments below. Appreciate you for watching. Talk to you in a minute. Peace.